The Chicago Bulls are willing to offer anything to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. But is it enough? Thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of the Chicago Bulls Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel in the manner that you do. Drop a C-Red Nation in the chat as well. Joe Cowley writing about what I think most people have lost their minds over here. The fact that the Bulls would have been willing to give up anything for Luka Doncic if he was available. This is in a recent article from the Chicago Sun-Times. But that there isn't, the Bulls were never notified of this. And he says very similarly, in that same situation, the Chicago Bulls would be willing to offer anything for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But here is the bottom line. Here is the problem in all of this. Is it going to be enough? Let's say you put together a trade package that is Kobe White, Josh Giddey, you throw Patrick Williams in there, maybe you send him Vooch, you send him draft capital, you're sending anything and everything to try and get Giannis into the building. Is it enough for the Milwaukee Bucks to actually go out there, move on from a piece who is literally a generational talent, who, yes, he is getting a little bit older, but you're trying to get some, and you're probably trying to get some young pieces back, right? Is that a situation where you look at the Bulls as the best option or the best trade that could be made there? And I think most of us are probably thinking the same thing if you are a logical Chicago Bulls fan right now. Unless you're going to leverage every bit of future that you've ever had for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think this is really cool that Joe Cowley brought this out in the article as well. You have less to give up if you're the Thunder, who may want to go out there, and then the Thunder, who may want to go out there and add Giannis next season. You have less to give up if you are the Rockets, who may want to go out there and add Giannis, who not only have better draft assets that they can send you than what the Chicago Bulls currently have, but also have better roster pieces that they can send you than what the Bulls currently have. We feel good about a lot of the pieces on this roster that, they're young and they're starting to figure some things out, but at the end of the day, you kind of look at them and go, but it's still all hope. You need some proven if I'm trading away Giannis. And to be honest with you, I don't see the Bulls as the best option to go out there and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, even if they offered half of the city of Chicago to get him out of Milwaukee. And I think that's for a couple reasons. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not done so. Let me know how you feel. Do you think that the Chicago Bulls could find a way to pry Giannis out of Milwaukee? I just don't see it happening. Again, I think that you don't have the assets to give up for some of these other teams that are willing to go out there and go after Giannis. I also think you have to look at the situation and say, if you're going to go out there and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, why the heck would Milwaukee send him to a team that I'm going to have to face a bunch? That's like when people say that the Bucks are going to send him to Miami. Why would they send him to Miami when I'm going to have to see him when I play Miami every year? Well, I'm going to have to go through him to get to any playoff round pretty much to try and be a champion yet again. I'm going to have to fight my way through Giannis Antetokounmpo to go out there and do that. Why would I ever do that? It doesn't make sense for the Milwaukee Bucks. It makes a ton more sense to send him to the Western Conference. I think it makes a ton more sense to not have to go out there and deal with trying to get through Giannis in the playoffs. And listen, while Giannis may be done in Milwaukee, which I do think there's a conversation to say that Giannis could be done with his time in Milwaukee, there's also the aspect of this that Giannis has said many times. He doesn't want to be 40 years old still playing basketball. right? So how much time do you really have left with Giannis? Are you even in a position that if you wanted to go all in with Giannis, that you feel like it could be something that is beneficial to you for the long term? I don't think that that's the case right now for the Chicago Bulls. And I think your best situation is probably going into this draft and trying your best to find a player, to find your Giannis in this draft. I think there's some really good pieces that you could come out of this with. I don't think that they're going to be Giannis. I think there's going to be some star level pieces. I see Cedric Coward as a star. I think he's going to be an absolute dog in this league, but it just doesn't make sense to me to go out and give up as much of the future as the Bulls could be talking about giving up to go after a player who may not even want to be playing that much longer, right? If you're getting, now I will say this, right? And it would be a modern NBA move, although we don't often see these moves work out nearly as often. But if you're taking a chance on the fact that Giannis right now is 30 years old, he'll be 31 this year in December, and that this Bulls team is, maybe they're there, maybe they're almost there, maybe you've got some pieces to feel good about with Giannis. Are you still going to have those pieces if you make the trade for Giannis? No. Are you still going to be in a playoff position if you make the trade for Giannis? No. Now, I am one, and I've said this multiple times. You figure out everything else after you get the star, but because there's a limit on the amount of years that Giannis wants to play moving forward, I do think you have to think a little bit more logically with this. If you were talking about somebody, let's say it was 30-year-old LeBron, and hey, we're getting 10 years of this guy. That's a different conversation, or it's Jokic, or it's whoever it is, right? And you're going to get 5 to 8 years more out of this guy. Like, I think that's a different conversation than where the Bulls are currently at right now, where the conversation and the talk around Giannis is great. Would love it. Would love to see it happen here in Chicago. But at the end of the day, you're talking about maybe 3 to 4 years of this, and then you're in a full-on rebuild in 4 years, and you're right back to where you started. Are you going to be able to build a team that is going to have enough to win a championship in those 3 to 4 years? No, you're not there. You're not there. And so for me, there is no world, there is no conversation where it makes sense for you to go out and move on from the pieces that you have to go after Giannis, because I think that's what makes this team exciting. I've said this on a couple of videos, definitely said it on Locked On Bulls. If you're going to go out there and you're going to add a piece to this team, you need to be trying to add a superstar level piece, because if you find a way to actually add a superstar level piece to this team, not just go out there and trade for, if you find a way to add a superstar level piece to this team, now the conversation you're having is, and we've got Kobe White, and we've got Josh Giddey, and we've got Modest Buzelis, right? You feel good about the pieces that you have on the team because there's somebody that's going to be the focal point of the scoring. There's somebody that's going to be the focal point of the offense. There's somebody that's going to be there for the big moments. That's the only way that any of this that AK is doing works. AK is big on getting lucky. And the only way that having a team of role players like this works historically in the NBA, and maybe you could say, right, that it's happening a little bit more with the Pacers making the finals now, but the only way that this works in my mind is if you find a superstar, just like Denver did by going out there and adding Jokic in the second round. Outside of that, you're having fun. And that's what the Bulls intend to do over the next couple of seasons. Have fun. Let me know how you guys feel about all of this in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Want to get a video out on this. Like I said, we're going to be dropping more consistently over here on the Chicago Bulls Breeze, so stay in tune with us. Got 2 out this week. Goal is to try and do Monday through Friday next week, but of course with the schedule, with everything with the Bears, there's 3 days of rookie minicamp, of mandatory minicamp next week. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit tougher. It might get a Monday episode, might get a Friday episode, very similar to this. But stay tuned in with us, man, because we got plenty of content coming you guys' way. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. See Red Nation. Stand up. Peace.